Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga with Jen. I'm so happy to be back with you. I've been traveling for the last about 4 months. I've been to Australia, Southeast Asia, most recently South America, Argentina, and I'm home in Toronto for about a month before I move back to Vancouver. So I've been moving around a lot. I'm definitely feeling it in my body, my energy, but I'm so happy to be home and I'm really looking forward to getting back into a state of routine, back into teaching, back into, productivity, motivation, studying, movement. So whether or not that's your vibe for this next season, for all of us, it is spring now. And so in that spirit, the focus of today's flow is going to be on that theme of growth, of expansion, of renewal. So I want it to be really nice and flowy. We're going to open up shoulders, hamstrings. You don't need any equipment, although you can always have a block as optional if you'd like. Now is a good time to hit play on the Spotify playlist linked in the description. And let's get into it, nice and easy to start us off here. So come on down to your mat, come into a nice easy seat, and we'll start with a little bit of breath work. But first, let's just settle into our space. So really rooting down into the sit bones. If you need to, moving the flesh away from the sit bones so you can find that feeling of groundedness right from the base of your seat. And then a little bit of lift up through the spine. Nothing too effortful, but just feeling a little bit of height, growing up nice and tall through the crown of the head, resting hands either on body or in the lap. Maybe allowing the eyes to softly close. And taking stock of your mood, of your energy level, of your desire to be here or not. Either way is okay. You're here. Putting everything else off to the side. It'll all be there for you when we finish this practice. And giving yourself this time. Starting to move the attention from your outer surroundings towards your inner being. And taking a deep breath in through the nose. Inside out. Feeling the shoulders drop a little. Feeling a little softness in the belly. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in. Release. And once more. Inhale. And let it go. You can keep the eyes closed and we'll just start to gently move out the neck. So dropping the chin towards the chest. And bringing left ear towards left shoulder. If it feels okay, you can take the neck all the way around. But otherwise just moving in nice, gentle half circles. You can play with turning the chin right to left, just exploring how the neck feels. And last one, come on back through center, blink the eyes open, place the right hand on the earth and maybe walk the fingertips a little further away from the body. Take an inhale, reach the left arm up and over, nice. Maybe resting the right elbow on the earth. Take the gaze up towards that left crook of the elbow and notice if you're lifting a lot out of your left sit bone. See if you can root down into the left sit bone. Get that nice long stretch in the left side of the body. One more inhale to find length. Exhale, round forward. And walk it over to the left side. Take the right arm up and over. Big breath in. Lots of length into the right side body. Exhale, rooting down into the right sit bone. One more time, big inhale, reach through the fingertips. And exhale, roll it all the way forward. Pause here, walk the fingertips a little further away from the body. Maybe the forehead comes to rest on a block or on the mat. Softening into the space around the shoulders. Softening into the hips and low back. And when you're ready, walk the hands back towards the body and we'll move into a tabletop position. So however way you want to get there. In our tabletop, stacking wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, gentle little rock back and forward. Just going to warm up our wrists here. Staying with that nice deep in-breath and out-breath. If you'd like to call in your oceanic breath, sealing off the back of the throat, so creating a slight constriction in the back of the throat. And turning the fingertips to the sides, take that little wave through the body, through the hips, side to side. Spreading the fingertips wide on the mat, but not too wide. So an even spacing between all 10 fingers. Turning the palms up to the sky, fingertips back towards the body. Little rock back and forward, or you can just pause here, maybe sending the seat back to find that nice stretch through the forearms. And replacing the hands on the mat. Let's take it into a cat-cow. Take an inhale, dropping the belly towards the earth. Lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, rounding through the spine, curling chin to chest. Puff up through the shoulders, zipping the navel up into the spine. And keep this going with your own breath, your own rhythm. Beautiful. Couple more rounds. If you'd like, you can start to take it side to side, or you can just keep going. And we'll come on back to a neutral position. Take an inhale, lift the right hand up, take the gaze up. As you exhale, it's going thread the needle, reaching the right hand underneath the left, bringing the right side of the head towards the mat. This might feel like enough of a stretch for the shoulders, or you can crawl those left fingertips forward and pressing into the left hand, bringing the left armpit a little bit closer to the mat. That's a really nice stretch for the shoulders. Or if you want to deepen this twist, go ahead, take that left hand to the low back and guide the left shoulder, the front of the left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Breathing, expanding into the sides of the rib cage. And exhaling, softening into the right shoulder. Next, inhale, go ahead and replace that left hand on the mat. Sweep the right arm up. Gaze will follow, counter twist. Gently place the right hand down on the mat. We'll take it on the left side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. Oh, you might get some nice cracks in the back here. And taking any option, it's nice to match the first side. So fingertips forward or to low back. Sometimes it helps to move the hips around and just see what angle or what positioning feels best in this stretch. So sometimes we need to give the body a little chance to talk to us, to tell us, okay, where do I need this stretch most today? Go ahead, replace that right hand back beside the face. Counter twist, lift the left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, placing the left hand down. For this next one, you can keep your knees on the mat. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you'll go ahead, tuck the toes, hover the knees, but you can also start with knees on the mat, see how this feels. Take an inhale, reach the right leg back. Exhale, lower the right knee to the earth. Inhale, left. Keeping the core nice and tight. Exhale to lower. If you want to try here, let's hover the knees. Inhale, the right goes back. That creates a little bit more fire in the right side. We hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower down or fire in the core rather. Inhale, reach the left leg back. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really nice job. The seats start to activate as well. We keep going. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time each side. You got this. Inhale, right. Let it go for 4, 3. Squeeze the right glutes. 2, 1. Good job. Last one. Left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring the big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat. Send the seat back in space. Child's pose. Deep breath in and out. Collect yourself. Big breath out through the mouth if you need it. And one more. Inhale. And let it go. Good job. Walk the hands a little bit closer in. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. First downward facing dog of practice. If the backs of the legs are tight and you could use a little walkout, go ahead, take that option. Another one I really love here is dropping the heels and the hips to one side and other side, especially if the sides of the body are a little tight. That's a really nice variation. And start to walk the feet forward towards the hands, bending the knees as much as you need here. We're still early on in our practice, so this doesn't need to be your deepest, most flexible variation. Just letting this feel really nice, really safe in the body. Heel toe the feet a little wider than the hips. Catch for the elbows. Let's take a little sway side to side. Feel the releasing of the low back here, maybe of the head, the neck. Notice if you're holding any tension in the belly, and see if you can just let the belly naturally fall. We're placing hands on earth, heel toe the feet into hip width. Take an inhale, pressing into the heels, bending into the knees, slowly starting to curl up. Think about pulling the belly button back into the spine, so same position as in our cow. And using the core to slowly stack vertebrae over vertebrae. Shoulders roll up and back. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Get nice and tall. Maybe take the gaze up towards the hands. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back in space. Find your plank pose. Holding for 5. For 4, knees can come to the mat if you need. For 3, 2, and 1. Rock forward on the toes slightly. Again, you can always come down to the knees. We bend into the elbows, lower down chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, long line from crown of head through to the knees. 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, press through into your back bend. Baby cobra might feel like enough here, rolling the shoulders back. Or if you're feeling pretty open, wanting a little bit more, you can press on up into your upward facing dog. Nice deep breaths into the belly, dropping shoulders away from ears. And let's move through tabletop into our downward facing dog. And right away, inhale, look forward, bend into the knees, step 1 foot at a time, or hop or float to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back. If you're floating back, land in chaturanga with arms bent. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step, hop, or float feet to top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, step or hop back. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause. 5 breaths. See if you can resist the urge to fidget, to move, to adjust. Even if you landed imperfectly, if hands aren't in line or feet aren't in line, allow your mind to overcome the compulsion to fix, to perfect. It's not going to hurt you to have a little imbalance for the next 2 breaths. Last full breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Good. Bend the knees, look forward, step or float to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Sun salutation B. Inhale, sweep the arms up, bend the knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Nice and strong shape, feeling the strength in the tops of the thighs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float feet to the back of mat. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, inhale, right toes lift. Right knee drives forward. Step the foot at the top of the mat. Rise up, high lunge or warrior 1, you choose. Exhale, lower hands to frame. Right foot, step it back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Left leg, inhale, lift up. Drive the knee forward, step foot at top of the mat. Inhale, reach up, warrior one or high lunge. Exhale, lower hands to frame, left foot, step it back, move through your flow. Know that every flow is optional, so if you need, you take a break, you find child's pose. Or you modify, you come to your knees, honoring your body and what you need today. 2 more breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, step or float the feet forward. Rise up, Utkatasana, chair pose. And see if you can drop the seat a little bit lower, pulling the belly button back in towards the spine, slight tuck of the pelvis under the body. A little lower down, a little lift, a little lower, a little lift. We're here for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Stand it all the way up. Hands come through heart center. Again, inhale, bending Utkatasana chair, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back, Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, send the right foot forward, rise up, high lunge, warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, lower down. Move through your flow. Right away, left side, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, down dog, 5 breaths. Finding your center. And starting to enjoy that feeling of the heart beating a little faster. And not letting it overwhelm us. It's just a physical sensation in response to moving our bodies, moving our muscles, using our bodies. Nothing more. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, step or float to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, last time. This time, see if you can rise up onto the tippy toes, a little lower of the hips, little lift, little lower, little lift. We go for 3, for 2, and 1. Good job. Maybe a little bit of shakiness there. That's awesome. We're working it out. Inhale to stand up straight. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take a beat in Tadasana. So stepping the feet hip width apart and parallel. Hands come by the sides. And just pause, just taking stock. And consciously slowing the flow of breath in and out of the nose. If you need a bit more time here, you take it. Otherwise, we'll step the feet back to hip width or together, your preference. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Optional, take a flow. Or we just meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, drive the right knee forward. Step the foot to the top of the mat. Always, if you need, you can use your hand to help bring your foot closer to the top of the mat. So you can inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Lifted on the back toes, strong, straight back leg. See if you can bend a little deeper into your front right leg. Inhaling to reach through the fingertips. As you exhale, hands come through heart center. Start to twist to the right. So hooking that left elbow on top of the right thigh. And if your balance is feeling challenged today, you can take your gaze down towards the right big toe. Otherwise, you may choose to challenge yourself and take the gaze up over your right shoulder. Beautiful. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly unwind, windmilling the arms into your warrior two. Deep bend in the right knee, guiding the right knee out towards the right wall. So there's often a tendency to let that right knee start to cave in, really using the muscles of the thigh to open up through that knee. Dropping shoulders back and down. Holding tension where you need tension, where tension is beneficial. So in the legs are really sturdy, really strong. Same with the arms, but releasing tension through the belly, releasing tension through the face. Good, inhale. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward from the waist. A couple options here for extended side angle. You can bring your right hand onto your right elbow onto your right thigh. Sweep your left arm up and overhead gaze goes up. If the side of the body's feeling quite open, you can bring your right hand down on the inside of the right foot. Again, being aware of that right knee caving and really using the right shoulder to push open the right thigh. And if you want a real challenge here, if you want to build a little bit more heat, keeping the right arm lifted like you're holding a big beach ball over your body. And we've got 3. Nice and gentle breaths. We've got 2. And we've got 1. Amazing job. Windmilling back into your reverse warrior. Left hand can come down the back of your thigh or wrapping around the back body, maybe placing the hand on top of that right thigh. Another little guide to keep guiding the right knee towards the right wall. Nice stretch through the right side body. Inhaling, coming right on back through center, straighten out the right leg. Again, hinge forward from the waist. And we slowly start to lower the right hand towards the right shin. This is another really useful place for a block. I love placing a block, I don't have one right now, but on the inside of my right foot to really help to open up my chest towards the ceiling. So if your hand is on the floor, still being conscious that you're not closing off the shoulders, you're still really working on opening up, and that can be facilitated by bringing the right hand a little bit higher up the shin. Trikonasana, triangle pose, one of my favorites. That super juicy stretch through the left side body, the left hip, where I hold a lot of tension. As you inhale, take the gaze down towards the right big toe. Notice if your toes are facing off in any funky direction. And if so, make a little micro adjustment. So you want that big toe facing forward. And then we'll slowly start to bend into the right knee, using your balance here, taking off from the left foot and landing in your half moon on the right side. Little wobbles today. And that's part of the process. I really notice that my balance changes based on my mood and my constitution. So I've been feeling a little bit off just with all of the travel, and that comes out in my balance. When things feel a bit unstable in life, sometimes that's reflected in the practice. So just being gentle with yourself, accepting that as part of the process, and knowing when we practice our balance on the mat, we can bring some of that balance off the mat and into our life. Think about flexing, sending energy through the left heel. That's so important. Flexing strongly through the left back foot. Good, and we've got one more push here for the right hamstring. Really nice opening. Closing off, so bringing the left hand back down to the mat. We take this into a standing split. So closing off, squaring off the hips, so both hips face down to the mat. We'll walk the hands a little bit closer to that right big foot. And using the strength of the left glutes and left hamstring, guide the left toes as high up towards the sky as you can. Now you may need a gentle bend or a big bend, either way, through that right leg. And you want to try to guide your chest forward towards your right shin, towards your right thigh, so that you can use that as leverage to get your left leg a little higher. So good. We've got 2 more big breaths here. Amazing job planting the hands towards the top of the mat. If you'd like, you can try a little kick into a handstand, lifting up your left leg, and we'll lower down into Chaturanga, or you can just take whatever transition you like. Moving through your own flow at your own pace. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog, resetting for 5 breaths. If you'd prefer a child's here, you take child's. Whenever you're ready, coming back into downward facing dog. And take the gaze forward, bend into the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, exhale, hands through heart center. Beautiful Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float the feet back. Optional flow or just meet in downward facing dog. We'll take this series on the left side now. So inhaling, sweep the left leg up. Squeeze the left glutes. Exhale, draw the left knee to the nose. Step the foot towards the top of the mat. Use your hand if you need. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Strong, straight back right leg. If you'd like, you can take the gaze up towards the hands. My preference here is to keep a neutral neck, a neutral chin. It just feels a little bit better in my body for my shoulders for some reason. Inhaling, reaching, sending energy through the fingertips. As you exhale, maybe a little hinge forward from the chest. Hands come through to the center of the chest, hooking the right elbow on the top of the left thigh. So oftentimes people will kind of guide their hands towards the towards the armpit. Here, I want you to think about lifting up from the chest. So it's really twisting and opening through the stomach and through the upper shoulder so that you're bringing the hands even closer to the heart, and squeeze your hands together. So it's these opposing forces working at the same time. Good, take one more breath. And as you exhale, big unwinding, expanding into your warrior 2 on the second side. Same cue on the left side, noticing if your knee is tracking over the middle toes of the left foot. Using the muscles, the strong muscles of the left leg to guide that left knee open. Deep breath in, preparing for a transition to extended side angle. Taking the same variation you took on the first side, so elbow to knee, right arm sweeps up and over, left hand to the floor, or left hand reaches up, you hold that big beach ball. Nice and challenging option. Breathing for 3, nice and easy. Uncomfortable doesn't have to mean bad. So let the physical sensations pass through you. And don't let the mind get caught up in, I can't do this, I don't want to do this. You're okay. And in fact, you're doing really well because you're here. And as you inhale, unwinding, taking it back into that nice reverse warrior, expanding that compression on the left side of the body. See if you can bend a little deeper into the left knee as you lift up and out of the left armpit. And one more full inhale, energy through the fingertips. And as you exhale, come on back through center, straighten out the left leg. Hinge forward from the waist, Trikonasana on the left side. Got 2 more shapes here on this left side. And thinking about that opening, squeezing your right glute ever so slightly forward and feeling that opening through the right hip flexor, through the right side of the hip. So it's like you're being squeezed between 2 panes of glass. And take an inhale, lowering the gaze to the left big toe. Any micro adjustments to make sure those toes are straight. And then we're going to propel ourselves out of the right foot, lifting the right leg up into our half moon. So your left fingertips will be about a foot forward from your foot. And sometimes it can be helpful to offset. So maybe a few inches to the left, creating a nice base. Flexing strongly through the right foot, pressing evenly into all 4 corners of the left foot. And maybe you start to take the gaze up towards the right. Maybe even all the way up to the right hand. Same squeeze of the glutes that we found in our Trikonasana. So sending the hips a little bit forward in space as you simultaneously feel pulled through the crown of the head and through the heel, forward and back. One more breath, breathe it in. And as you exhale, closing off the hips, planting the right hand on the earth. And then send the right leg skyward as you start to walk the hands closer to the left foot. Levering yourself into this standing split. Now splits, there's obviously a major misconception, or a major, conception that splits are about flexibility. Of course they are, but there's so much strength involved too. This active flexibility, so we're squeezing into the right glutes as well to lift a little higher up towards the sky. Really beautiful work, and if you want, you can take that handstand play. So walking that left foot a little bit further back, give yourself a bit of room to pop up, maybe a couple attempts, and then you're flowing back into your chaturanga. And taking your final flow here. Meeting in either child's pose or downward facing dog. Walk the hands back towards the body, gently pressing yourself up. So in the spirit of openness for spring, we're nice and warm now. So let's do a little bit of back bending. I'll demonstrate first and then you can start to follow me. So you'll stay on your knees and we'll guide with the right arm first. So taking an inhale, lifting the seat off of the heels and thinking about pressing the hips forward, slight squeeze of the glutes, and lifting up through that right arm rather than throwing back. So really thinking about the strength in the back body and of the core. And as you exhale, lowering down, inhaling, taking it on the left, lifting up rather than sending back. Same thing, working on that active flexibility. So joining in, right side, inhale to reach. And you can move at your own pace here. You could slow down this breath, taking 2, 3, 4 counts to reach up. And 4, 5, 6 counts to lower down. A moving meditation. We're coming into the part of practice where we start to move our intention more internally. So if you want, you can close the eyes. We'll take one more on each side, making this your slowest. Really nice. And with that intention on that lift, we'll rise up once again, lifting our seat off of our heels and practice our camel pose or Ustrasana. So first variation, the hands will come to the low back and you can guide the hips forward, opening up through the chest, broadening the collarbones. Take the gaze up. And if that feels okay, you may start to take this even deeper, lifting the chin all the way up and back. If that feels okay, you can bring the hands onto the ankles. So the first variation would be with the toes tucked, giving yourself a little bit more lift. And finally, feet flat on the earth, hands come to the ankles. But notice if you start to send your hips way back, if the hands are on the ankles, what we want instead is to keep pressing the hips forward, keep opening up through the chest. So lifting up rather than back. And breathing for 4. Coming out at any time for 3, for 2, and 1. We take this journey in the reverse. Hands come onto the low back. And you slowly, slowly guide the chin back to neutral. And bring the seat back onto the heels. Bring the hands on top of the thighs. Close the eyes. And just letting that deep back bend settle into your body. Checking in. We're in the final stages of our practice, so what's changed for you? What shifted in this last 45 minutes? Guiding yourself onto one hip so you can swing the legs forward, bringing the soles of the feet to touch. Finding a nice gentle butterfly. The closer the heels are to the pelvis, the deeper this stretch will be as you start to hinge forward from the waist. So noticing if you're still having sensations in the low back from our deep back bend, and just being really gentle with this forward fold. So those are two fairly extremes for the spine. So just taking it really easy, really slowly. And as you feel your body starting to settle and release, you can walk the hands a little further forward, maybe dropping into the head, the neck. As you inhale, walk the hands back towards the body. Using the hands, guide the legs together and then extend the legs out in front of you. We'll forward fold once more with straight legs. Inhaling to lift up from the low back and exhaling to gently fold forward. And there's a real tendency here to automatically reach the hands right for the feet. But what I love doing is actually keeping a really nice soft bend in the knees and allowing myself to hinge forward from the hips, seeing where the belly naturally lands and where the hands and elbows naturally land. And then allowing that to be the foundation for this pose. So as I soften into this, then maybe walking the hands forward, seeing how that feels, but trying to keep the connection as much as possible between belly and thighs. You can even place a pillow or bolster under the knees or under the backs of the thighs to support this opening. Inhale to walk the hands back towards the body, and we'll slowly make our way down onto our backs to finish off our practice together. So really nice and gently lowering onto your back and walking the feet in. And we'll take some windshield wipers side to side. It might feel nice to widen the feet a little bit just outside the body. Give the hips a little more space. If you've got this space, allow the arms to extend out to the side, taking up that space. And guide the knees into the chest. Little rock side to side, checking out how the back feels. And extending the legs up towards the sky. If you want, stay here. If you feel comfortable with shoulder stand, we'll lift the hips off of the mat. Bring the hands to support the low back. Guide the elbows in slightly so the elbows are pretty much in line with the shoulders. And then start to tuck the upper arm bones underneath the body. So creating a really strong foundation to lift the legs up into the air here. Soft neck, neutral chin. And trying to not hold too much tension in the legs. I love this visualization of the legs draining of fluid. So allowing all the blood to flow back into the body. A total release. And if it feels okay and your body's calling for it, guiding the toes towards the earth. And ultimately bending the knees, closing off the ears. At your own pace, you'll slowly start to unwind from this shape. So untucking the arm bones and really supporting the hips as they journey back to the mat. Guiding knees into chest. Drop both knees over to the right side. Easy twist. Opening up the left arm, the right arm. Gaze can fall to the left shoulder. For a little deeper twist, you can bring the right hand on top of the left thigh, anchoring the knees down. Using as little energy as possible and keeping the eyes closed or the gaze really soft. Guide the knees back in through center and slowly make your way over to the other side. No rush. As you're ready, coming back through center. Drop the knees into the armpits. Catch the outer edges of the feet. Happy baby. Stillness or rock side to side. If the body's craving any other shapes before your final resting shape, taking those now. Otherwise, simply guiding yourself into any shape of choice. And then we'll be here for a few minutes together. Just softening, integrating all of that movement, all of that expansion. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Softening the space around the eye. Softening the cheekbone, the lips, the jaw. And allowing that softness to flow down into the rest of your body. And softening the space around the heart. And allowing your own breath to guide you inward. Allowing your own breath to soothe, to heal, to find peace. And slowly starting to bring awareness back into your body. Feeling the expansion of your in-breaths and out-breaths. Inviting small movements. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. And circling ankles and wrists. Rocking head side to side. Inviting bigger movements, maybe reaching the arms overhead as you zip the legs together. Just feeling that wave of renewal, of blooming. And softly guiding yourself back into a little ball, giving yourself one last squeeze for good measure. Before you rock yourself onto the right or left side, and pausing for a moment, allowing this shape to bridge your practice, and heading back out into the world, carrying with you all of this beautiful energy, growth that you've just cultivated within yourself. And gently pressing yourself up to seated. And before we close, I have a poem that I'd love to share with you in the spirit of spring and the new season. It's called Lean Back. Stop pushing the future into being with the force of your mind. Lean back into the arms of the world, the blessed lover you have been waiting for. Lean back, let the world love you through all of its many parts. Lean back, following the joy in your heart. Lean back, letting the breath of the trees fill your body. Let go of making it happen. The world has more resources and will respond in 1,000 ways you didn't know existed. Let go of form. The world has so many arms to hold you. Lean back. Let go. The ride has just begun. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for practicing with me. I wish you a wonderful and bountiful spring season ahead. Namaste. I couldn't find the author of that poem, but I will link it in the notes of this class. Lots of love.